Hey guys, I recently checked out the demo for stellarblade and had a ton of fun with it. At first glance, it might look to be a fan service game, but stellarblade's combat flows really well with overtop animations like you'd hope for. As far as the demo goes, there are two modes to check out. One is New Game, which looks to start from the beginning of the main campaign. The other is Boss Challenge mode, which will unlock after finishing the first playthrough of the demo. This gives you access to a variety of talent tree unlocks and various items to test. In regards to the difficulty of the game, you can choose between story and normal mode. I don't really know the difference between the two, as I only tried it on normal mode, but it did feel fairly forgiving considering the fact that I did end up removing Eve's armor, which leads to you taking additional damage. I don't want to go into too many details with the story, but here's a quick rundown of what happens in the demo. You play as Eve, an android girl, whose pod has crash-landed from space into a human city that's been overran by monsters called the Natiba. You travel through the battlefield fighting various Natiba with another android girl named Taki. Eventually, you and Taki make your way to a larger Natiba that's taking out your team members. With Taki, you end up defeating the larger Natiba, but Eve is badly damaged from the battle. The Alpha Natiba appears before them, and with their guard down, it attempts to attack the injured Eve. But instead, Taki steps in the way, sacrificing herself to save Eve. Eve manages to narrowly escape thanks to a scavenger named Adam. He rescues her and brings her aboard his ship. The city of Eidos 7 is the main segment of the demo where the two explore together in a post-apocalyptic environment filled with Natiba waiting to ambush you. Eventually, you'll end up on top of a parking structure and encounter the main boss of the demo, Abandon. It's a larger Natiba that dual-wields swords. As you reduce its HP, it's able to summon and enhance its attacks with lightning. Immediately upon defeating Abandon, the demo ends and you're greeted with a trailer of the game. While the setting and story are great, the real selling point of the demo was the combat. It felt very crisp and clean as you learned to string combos together while recognizing when to parry and dodge. Your main attacks for the game are beta attacks that can be learned through the skill tree. These attacks require you to build beta energy, which will generate through light and heavy attacks or perfect parrying an enemy. I most relied on the lunge attack that as you landed seems to interrupt the boss's combos and skills. As a bonus, it also applied stagger damage, which I'll touch on later. I know there's also additional unlocks on the skill trees, but for the demo, I really didn't see any use for any of the other beta attacks. There's also a stagger mechanic that's common to the action combat genre. You'll notice dots at the bottom of the monster's health that represent a stagger bar. To deplete a stagger bar, you'll need to perform a perfect parry or some beta attacks. Once the stagger bar is empty, you'll be able to perform a retribution attack for a large chunk of the enemy's health bar. Another thing you're going to need to look out for are unparryable attacks. These are telegraphed with about 3 different effects. First is the yellow telegraphed attack. You'll be able to dodge it simply by pressing the O button at the right timing. These attacks don't seem to have a specific tell of when to dodge, so you'll need to figure it out through practice. The other 2 telegraphs are similar to one another, but the input to dodge depends on the color of the effect. Watching the enemy, you'll notice a pink or blue glow. Soon after, Eve's weapon will glow with a corresponding color. If there's a pink glow, you'll need to press the O button and backwards. This will send Eve backwards and stun the enemy, making an opportunity to attack. If it's a blue glow, you'll press the O button and forward to blink through the enemy without sustaining any damage. I think that mostly covers my thoughts on the demo. I'm really excited to play more of stellarblade in April, as it really sold me on its combat, though I do feel like I'm missing something important. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This is the first time I've ever made a video like this, so it's definitely a work in progress. So if you could, drop a comment, like, or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And later, guys. Peace.